Hello, welcome to Dab Chat today. I'm going to fake smoke a cigarette because, oh wow, that's really heavy and you carried it. Because things are stressful, but I'm pleased. I don't smoke, I'm not a smoker, but it's heavy. But I have an affectation that I found years ago when I was acting in university drama productions, etc., and I had to pretend to smoke. I'm going to do it now. Unless people point out that it promotes smoking, in which case I won't. But I think it promotes eccentricity, which I embrace.
Please wake up Daddy.
I'm not going to wake up Daddy yet.
But I just
So you can put it there. You can put it there. Wake up Daddy soon. All right, so let's talk about Liz Cheney and also justice for the people in Flint, Michigan, because there's news now that the people who are in charge of that incredibly corrupt decision to stop paying money to derive drinking water for Flint, Michiganders from Detroit, from the lakes, and instead wanted to incur the expense of switching over the water supply to a river, which had higher levels of microbial infestation, so had to have higher levels of antibacterials added to the water like chlorine, which chemically interacted with what turned out to be pipes, lead pipes, and the lining was corroded, putting toxic levels of lead in the water for the residents of Flint, Michigan, resulting in higher levels of developmental delays in their children, higher levels of just generally neurotoxicity and disease and dysfunction. And when they found out about it, a debilitating psychological distrust in government. Hello, Alan. Nice to see you. How are we all coping? Trump's at a town called Alamo because apparently his staff thought the town of Alamo was the Alamo, which is a site that I'm not familiar with that history, but remember the Alamo as a phrase, and they apparently didn't remember where the Alamo was. So the nice thing about it is that Trump is off Twitter, and so less potently able to deliver a daily shot of indoctrination straight into the minds of his followers. So he's not a well-educated man, but I will say he's shrewd and cunning and very familiar with how to incite violence and whip up indoctrination over a period of years. They're two different pronunciations, Alamo versus... Anyway, fill me in on the details if you know. So first of all, yes, it's an unlit cigarette. I bought a pack last week because I'm trying to lose Trump stress weight, and I thought if I have an oral fixation and keep eating things when I don't need them, maybe I can try to sublimate some of that stress relief eating into stress relief pretend smoking of a cigarette.
Mommy, I just dropped it.
Oh, you dropped the card and it broke. Oopsies, we need to get some glue. Look at this birthday card. It's very, do you want to get the glue out of the drawer, craft already? We got this card for my husband. Dad in chief, head of the household. So it's just extra potent in the wake of America trying to find standing ground again after all of the violence and the divergent reality of the Trump era. You've been on Twitter today entirely. Welcome to my life. I parent and then use Twitter around that time because trying to stay abreast of everything that happens in the US is a very immersive experience if you try and stay abreast of it all. So Liz Cheney's quote is, "The President of the United States summoned this mob, assembled the mob, and lit the flame of this attack. Everything that followed was his doing. None of this would have happened without the president. I will vote to impeach the president." Now, the nice thing is that this fractures the Republican Party in that, yes, they're all culpable to differing degrees, but some Republicans will be able to see the political reality that some Republicans will reject the party for what Trump did for overstepping that line. So very obviously when he incited a mob to terrorize legislators and roam the corridors of an overrun Capitol building, particularly beating to death one police officer and beating and injuring and dragging other police officers. So that's going to be a big emotional line in the sand for some Republicans who might have tried to keep ignoring the implications of the criminal nature of Trumpism, the criminal treasonous nature of Trumpism. Yes, darling? Yes, sweetie? Oh, okay, I'll bring you some toilet paper. 1 second, I'll be right back. No, you're right. I'll get something out of the toilet. Interesting. Yeah. Yes, and Pence has said that he thinks it's political games to be asked to use the 25th Amendment to oust Trump immediately from office. You know, it's interesting because Pence and his wife and his daughter were in the Capitol building when it was overrun with violent white terrorists. Why is Pence rejecting the calls? Look, it's a house of cards. Each individual Republican has a political calculation to make. Are the crimes that they're being blackmailed with worse or more likely to come out if they expose Trump? Or do their political futures lie in favor of cutting Trump off and then being part of a potentially new Republican Party that's established in his wake? Because it will be very destructive to the Republican Party to cut Trump out, but they have to. Some of them will feel compelled by conscience to do it. So look, Mike Pence was a adoring, toady, oleaginous, obsequious sycophant to Donald Trump for 4 years, as Donald Trump trampled on democracy, harmed babies, caused significant psychological and physical harm to migrant families, including tender age infants, and sabotage the American economy through unnecessary trade wars, and then, effectively killed hundreds of thousands of Americans. So it's not that surprising that someone who was leading a COVID response that was so manifestly and patently inadequate that it could be considered criminal negligence, I imagine, by some people with experience in the law. So presiding over the deaths of so many people indicates that Pence has sold his soul to a degree, so that even though he himself was being hunted by a mob of Trump-incited rioters chanting "Hang Pence, hang Pence," whilst his wife and daughter, one of his daughters, were in the building, that he still can't find it within himself. You'll get the glue? Okay. That he still can't find it within himself to aggravate Trump supporters and aggravate Trump himself. People would always say, oh, Republicans are so afraid of Trump tweeting. They could have gone further and said they're afraid of Trump inciting a mob against them. And his cult followers, Trump's cult followers, are not just people who worship Trump. They worship themselves. And it's like being in romantic love when you go, I feel so seen. I feel loved for who I am.
Can I put it on?
I'm not being called racist anymore. Trump's calling it not racist, but not racism, but rational. It's rational to despise people of color and describe activities advocating for civil rights as very easily contaminable by any act of violence. It's so funny because we are judging Republicans, most Republicans, by the actions of the rioters. Whereas the people who rioted during the Black Lives Matter movements, some of those people were demonstrably people from white accelerationist cults, like the boogie, what are they called? I haven't heard about them for a while. The Boogaloo folks, who want a civil war and were happy to attack authority figures in order to accelerate what they saw as an inevitable outcome. So there were white people who were arrested and charged after some of the property destruction associated with the Black Lives Matter riots, which were still for civil rights. They were still protesting against the unlawful extrajudicial murder of people of color in the United States, which is more prevalent than most people recognize. And there is now a published study that has highlighted the relationship between the formation of police unions in county by county across the United States and county by county after the formation of police unions and the winning of extra immunity-related rights. There has been consequent increases. I'm going to wake up Daddy in 10 minutes. Okay? Yeah, Daddy deserves to have a rest. He does. It's a special day. Sweetie, if you complain, Mummy's going to take the sticker away, okay? So I'm going to put you on a pink dot for being cheeky, and then you'll go to a red dot, and then you'll go to a sticker list. You can't do this. I'm broadcasting. Yeah, more tickles. I will tickle you at a distance like that. Okay, there was a sentence I had to finish there. County by county increases in the number of people who died at the hands of arresting police officers, or just police officers in general. And those people were disproportionately and even predominantly African-American people dying. So Black people suffered as a consequence of extra rights given to police officers to consult with colleagues before being charged with a crime, and to take meal breaks, and to delay release of body cam footage, and some other rights. And then, of course, we know that there's qualified immunity as well. Yes, and certainly Black Lives Matter never tried to overthrow the government. Blub, blub, blub. All right, so look, Mitch McConnell has apparently said to report...
4 minutes till they get up again?
8 minutes. Okay, go play, Dylan. Love you. So Mitch McConnell has said to sources of reporters that he is interested in impeaching Trump. And it would be handy for him. I mean, Trump has been implicated in the loss of the president, the executive branch, and the Senate and the House for the Republican Party. They've lost control of those three areas of government which they previously had control over. Trump still, of course, managed to give them what they wanted, which is a plethora of Supreme Court appointees. And today, I think the Supreme Court has reinstalled a ban on obtaining abortion pills through the mail. So if you're in the very early stages of pregnancy, and you have some small clump of cells, and you don't want to extend your family at this point, your family is either just you, or statistically more likely, you're a mother of children and you don't feel financially or psychologically interested in having an addition to your household, you won't be able to obtain an easy method of ending your pregnancy through the mail. And you'll have to go to a hospital to obtain a prescription from a doctor at a hospital. So that adding a layer of difficulty to women ending their pregnancies is a Republican outcome of forcing families to make Republican-approved decisions. My little troll person is saying that the Black Lives Matter movement had a goal of trying to overthrow the Popo. Look, it's fair to attribute that intention to a very small number of people who didn't want to overthrow the police, but who argued to defund them, i.e. shift around state and local budgets to give police less money to buy the weaponry that they have used to the body armor and the semi-automatic weapons that they've used to cultivate a sense of belonging in the military and being above civilian considerations like not killing people, not acting as judge, jury, and executioner. So that's not physical insurrection. That defunding, even though I don't agree with that as a political aim, was never to overthrow the police. So you're still misrepresenting that. And we should mute you. Yes, so the ban was being held due to COVID, I guess, and people's difficulty in attending hospitals or not wanting to have extra venues to spread viral transmission. But they're reinstituting that ban now. COVID certainly isn't over, so it's very irresponsible of the Supreme Court to do that and to do it quietly whilst everybody's attention is predominantly consumed with news of police officers being beaten to death during an attempted siege of the Capitol. Molly. You're not a troll? Okay, good. Well, it's good your friends had your back. No, it's not terrible news about the 25th Amendment. It'd be nice if they would do it, because getting Trump away from the nuclear codes as urgently as possible is imperative, which is why Nancy Pelosi, very politically astutely, because she's just has very good political instincts, why Nancy Pelosi has delayed impeachment articles for a few days longer than some people thought was necessary. She wanted to give some space to Pence to do that if he could. And for her, it is very personal as well as politically sound to push forward with impeachment. I was saying a slight delay was politically sound, but so was moving forward relatively quickly as well. But Nancy Pelosi had 8 staff members who cowered under a desk, I believe with the lights out and furniture stacked against the door. And they knew to do that because they'd had gun drills during their schooling experiences because of the Sandy Hook shooting and mass murder of children and their teachers. I doubt Pence and Trump kissed and made up. There must be something tethering Pence to Trump, and it's likely been the same thing that has tethered him so obsequiously to Trump all along. Maybe he doesn't want to antagonize Trump because Trump has the goods on whatever skeletons are in Mike Pence's closet. All right, what else do we... Oh, some of you might be familiar with a journalist called Glenn Greenwald, who started a publication called The Intercept, and who appears to have been part of the group of people who inadequately secured a girl's identity, Reality Winner, who broke the news of Russian hacking of election systems in various American states. There wasn't evidence that they'd changed votes, but that they had hacked in to voting rolls. And Reality Winner sent reports to The Intercept, and they didn't cut off the identifying marks that enabled Reality Winner's superiors to trace that leak back to her and therefore put her on trial and have her be imprisoned for 5 years. And obviously that puts her life at risk because of COVID, but hopefully her sentence will be over sooner rather than later. But yes, you can't just leak reports from government agencies to journalists who don't protect your identity. So Stargal is so disgusted because of this, and because she just found out that 2 people from here went to DC to take part. And Kimchi asks, do you know them? Yes, the other day we were talking about laundered money being a principal part of Trump's businesses and the way in which Trump turned a profit for his businesses. He turned a profit by providing a service for criminals, powerful, wealthy criminals, to change their currency. So to be able to pass on dollars that have traceable what are they called, traceable numbers on them, and instead have conducted transactions with businesses that don't look too closely at who's giving them money, and obviously create shell companies and create reasons to have Yes, darling? Do you think my time is up? Is that what you think? Yeah.
To wake up Daddy.
Okay, you can go wake him up now. I give you permission.
No, I want Mama.
You can just say hello to him. Say hello, happy birthday. Oh, is the ink dry? Is the glue dry on the card? Give it a little test. It might need like 1 more minute. Yeah, I think it might need another minute to dry, baby. Okay. Let's have a look. Yes. Oh, and of course, the NRA laundering money as well. So anyway, Glenn Greenwald, who is this journalist who poured scorn on the idea that there was Russian collusion, etc., and who appears to potentially be subsidized by Russians, he just is writing nonsense on the internet, and he still has a lot of followers. So he wrote, "Do you know how many of the people arrested in connection with the Capitol invasion were active users of Parler? 0. The planning was largely done on Facebook. This is all a BS pretext for silencing competitors on ideological grounds. Just the start." And somebody else points out that Gizmodo mapped 70,000 geolocated Parler posts and isolated hundreds from January the 6th near the Capitol. All this data is courtesy of Parler's lax security, which allowed researchers to scrape users' posts, metadata, and GPS coordinates. So there we go. That will all be very useful to the FBI when seeking convictions of insurrectionists on federal crimes. Okay, you want to go in and say, "Wake up, Daddy"? You want to? Oh, you're going to drag that all in by yourself? All right. Well, then I better say goodbye too. So, just to check that everybody knows, Trump could be soon impeached in the House by tomorrow, and then potentially convicted relatively quickly in the Senate. And then Mitch McConnell's likely to support it, thinking it could rid the Republican Party of somebody who is a liability as well as an asset to the Republican Party. Donald Trump drives turnout. Are you okay, Papa?
I got the hiccups and a cough.
You got the hiccups? Come go have a drink of water, sweetheart. To get rid of hiccups, just sip the water very, very delicately. Do that first. Yeah, that's a good plan. Yes, so Mitch McConnell might appreciate that Democrats will act to forward that impeachment because it could rid the Republicans of this turbulent priest who has helped drive turnout for them, but who has also galvanized suburban Republicans to turn against the Republican Party, educated Republicans to turn against the Republican Party. So it's not necessarily shaving off a huge majority of Republicans, but for elections, numbers mean something. So there's that. But then also, if the Democrats are leading the charge, Mitch McConnell has other people doing that work for him, and nullifying Trump as someone who can't threaten Republicans with I'll run for president again and I'll work on primarying you, etc. Making sure that Americans know that the reason why Trump is impeached is because he is guilty of inciting violence. That could help draw a line under Trump for the Republican Party and make still the Democrats the instigatory party.
The only reason it's going off is because you didn't put them on the side.
You think I need more glue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get more glue.
Get more glue. But yeah, so Trump doesn't get automatically precluded from office by impeachment and conviction. But once he's impeached in the House, convicted in the Senate, you can apparently then, with a simple majority vote, you can preclude him from running for office ever again. So you can impeach, convict, and disqualify. And I'd also like to mention that there's a standoff right now with traitorous GOP Congress member Lauren Boebert. Is that how you say her name? The tiny little gun-touting woman who bragged that she would violate DC laws and carry guns. You think that's good? No, that's upside down. We've got to turn it around, don't we? You find the right way. There. Should we show everybody? It's so fancy. So fancy. Lauren Boebert's in a standoff because she didn't want to go through the metal detector. She didn't want to show Capitol Police the contents of her bag. So she was standing outside on the phone the last time I checked Twitter. Does anybody have any updates on that? Lauren Boebert, is also the person who, after repeated warnings during the siege of the Capitol not to use a mobile phone to post to social media, tweeted her whereabouts and tweeted that Nancy Pelosi had been removed from the chamber, i.e., told the insurrectionists where to look for Nancy Pelosi, like go look in the little corridors. So it would be great if she is arrested. I would feel good about that because I do have some big concerns about the inauguration, obviously, the fact that there's going to be so many people there looking out for snipers, and the fact that Trump is still instigating violence. When he tells people his observations, they're not really observations, they're instructions. So he says, oh, impeachment is bad. It's causing tremendous anger. He is telling his supporters how to feel. He's saying, you should feel tremendously angry. Like, ramp it up, guys. You're not angry enough. Be angrier. Be more seditious. I will help you, darling. Give it a second for the glue to dry, though, because now we've just put on more glue. Okay, I can put my fingers on to help it stay on as well too. Okay. Yes, and the mobs had maps to the security tunnels. Yes. And Giuliani, Cruz, and Don Jr. should have criminal charges filed against them. I agree. And then there's also Ali Alexander, a far-right conservative activist who helped organize the Stop the Steal rally. And he made a video in which he said Representative Briggs and Gozar and Mo Brooks helped him organize that rally. So they need to be in for questioning as well, because sedition is not something to be winked at. John Cleese, the British comedian, made a very popular Twitter post in which he said, so with the benefit of hindsight, who thinks the Nuremberg trials were divisive? Now, I know it's divisive, just been for the last 4 years with me and my family and friends to some degree, in that I clearly took Trump as much more of a threat. And I, with hindsight, would consider that to be a function of my, well, actually not with hindsight. I always knew to a degree that it was because of my Jewish background that I felt more keenly that Trump was a fascist. And I'm not saying Jewish backgrounds work. Okay, let's wake up Daddy now. Yes, he used to be known as Ali Akbar, but he changed his name to Ali Alexander to be more palatable to the right, whose money he was taking. But his access to all the money things, PayPal, etc., has been cut off because corporations now are helping provide justice for Americans who don't want to support insurrection. Goodbye, everybody. Hey, Robin. Robin, it's not Batman and Robin. It's just somebody, look, see his name? He's Robin Biro. Biro means pen in French, I think.
Okay, nice.
Okay. Bye, Stargal. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Dragon.
I really have. But so have some others. It's been a privilege to be part of Warning You, and I know that many people have taken that warning on board and worked hard for a Biden victory and for an end to Trump dominance in the United States. And thank you. Yeah, somebody's birthday, maybe. Keep an eye on William Evanina. Okay. Oh, not my birthday. It's not my birthday. Not my birthday.
It's not. It's
Don't tell. Well, actually, it's probably pretty obvious. Shh, we don't tell the internet.
Can we at least put it in the card?
Yeah.
Now they know who it is.
Now they do know who it is.
Because it says that.
Yeah, it does. Why don't you show them your dragon that you made as well? They might really like that. I was very impressed this morning. You go get
Where is
it. I think you left your dragon in the living room.
it?
Yeah, I already said. Oopsies. Well, you were showing it to me just before, so it's either in the living room or it's in the kitchen. And maybe we'll take Daddy his pancakes to say, wake up, have pancakes. Okay. Anybody found out what's happened to Boebert? Oh, she's trending, so let's have a look. We'll go latest. Because she wouldn't show her bag to security staff. If she has a gun in that bag and intends to use it, the bloodshed will not only be on Capitol's police, but also on the people defending her. So they've let her go into Congress without showing. Oh, okay. Ask your brother to help you.
No, I just want you to help me. Can you help me, Mommy? I want Mommy to help me. Can you obviously say no because he's still playing computer games?
I hope the internet puts pressure on Capitol Police.
He's still playing computer games, and so he'll obviously.
Oh, would you know what? He should go in together with us to give Daddy his present. So maybe go and tell him he's got 1 minute to stop playing computer games. Okay, can you tell your brother that? Is he playing Lego or computer games? Lego?
Mm.
Okay. Well, that's better. Okay, folks. See you later.
Mommy, help
Yes, she's
me.
mentally unstable, but apparently Capitol Police
Just help me.
have given up and let her in the building without showing the contents of her bag. They do. They did not get your dragon. I thought they would really like it.
No.
I know you'll be able to find the dragon.
How about unicorn instead?
You want me to show them the unicorn? Okay.
No.
No? Okay. You don't have to. Oh, phew. Well, that's much better news then. CNN and Washington Times both reported that she was blocked from entering.
Oh, can I show them the little turtle I do?
You can.
Hold on, let's see a black one.
All right. I'll be really happy if I find out she was blocked from entering.
Hey, they can't see it now.
Oh, no, they can, darling. They can still see you. That was just me looking at a different screen to see.
Yes, but I can see where it's in it. I do the tail.
Want me to hold?
Yeah. But only for the tail.
Sure you don't want to show them the unicorn
Yes.
instead? It's just harder to see that.
No.
Because that's too small. I think I can't show it to them.
No.
No? I was so impressed. She made a dragon out of air drying clay.
And should I show them the other unicorn? I do.
Mummy drew the lion.
But I drew the mane and the horn and the eyelashes.
Yes, you did.
And also the heart.
No, she's you're more than in preschool now, aren't you, darling? She can read. She can read very well.
Let's see if I can do hooves.
Ooh, yeah, you could draw hooves.
That will look much more better on my unicorn.
It will.
Let's
That's what.
what?
That's what. Oh, you want to
Can
stay?
you help wake up that day?
I will.
Just wake up
Well, look, they did that thumbs up for you. See, William Evanina is the director of the National Counterintelligence and Security Center. You sent me a video of his speech. I'll have a look. Alan also says, "Great job." Look, can you see? It says, "Great job." That's for you, darling. We've realized that the person who earns the most money on YouTube is a 9-year-old boy who makes, well, actually, I think his parents really help him make. He makes science videos that are really good. What did we learn about hurricanes? Yeah, okay, we'd probably need to watch it again. I learned that.
No, we're watching it again.
You don't want to watch it again? Well, I learned anyway that it was from warm, moist air rising.
Oh, wait, I remember. And dry
Yeah, dry, cool air.
air. Was it going
Falling, yeah, it was going
falling?
down. And the hot air was going up. And
So then, if it was going down and that was going up.
When they mixed together, they started to swirl.
Yeah, because if this is going down, then it should go down.
Yeah, and they started to swirl together.
Yeah.
And then the swirling got bigger and bigger and stronger and stronger. And then what did we have? A tornado. And the tornado got very strong, and it can even destroy some people's houses. Yes, I haven't seen footage of the manatee, but I've seen that somebody, fortunately not carved. Initially, I thought they'd literally carved into the side of the manatee, but they scraped off algae to form the letters Trump. And that's going to upset a lot of people. It was upsetting to read about it, that somebody would interfere with a living creature in that way, to just use them as if they are a signpost for Trump to proclaim their crazed Trump sensibilities on it. And they are very gentle creatures, yes. You're going to go look on YouTube for the manatee? Yes. That's going to be very politically costly for Trump and Republicans as well.
Let's go. Wake up.
Okay, well, say goodbye. Wave.
Bye.
Bye. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Good luck to the impeachment, conviction, and disqualification efforts to protect America from Trump. Good luck with the inauguration efforts to all of those working in security. And the coating protects their skin. Yes. Oh, somebody sent you a joke. Do you know steak is better in outer space because it's meteor? Do you know meteors?
Oh, yeah.
There's those rocks that fall.
Oh, yeah.
And so steak is better in outer space because it's meteor. It's like meteor.
Yeah.
You get that joke? Yeah.
Meteor.
Do you want to tell them the joke that you made about knots?
Oh,
Do you remember?
no.
No.
I don't
That's
want
all right.
to.
She's into making up jokes now as well.
I don't want to.
No, that's all right. Maybe another time.
I'm getting the family, but not online.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, everybody, let's say bye-bye. Have a great day, everyone. All the best for tomorrow. Oh, impeachment day. Impeachment day tomorrow, because tomorrow will be Wednesday for you. So when I see you next, maybe in 12 or 13 hours or something, actually, maybe I won't be able to. But if I do see you again in 13 or so hours, it'll be the morning of impeachment. If I see you in 24 hours, then hopefully it will be the evening and impeachment will have passed in the House, which seems likely. There's a few Republicans who are likely to vote for impeachment as well, making it bipartisan. Representative Peter Mayer and a few other Republican congress members are advocating for a censure.
Mommy, look what I made.
Did you make a plot?
3. I can untie the plot there.
Thank you. Oh, and they say, have a great day. Oh, Alan's got another joke for you, darling. He says, what do ducks eat? What do ducks eat? They eat crackers.
Crackers?
They eat quackers. Because they're
Crackers.
quackers.
Get it? Because they get. Oh, now I get it.
Now you get it.
I get it.
All right. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Good thing it's in